The U.S. military was this close to another bombing campaign on Iran. But today, President Trump giving the regime one last chance, announcing on Truth Social that he has canceled a scheduled attack on Iran tomorrow at the request of various leaders in the Middle East, citing, and this is a quote, serious negotiations now taking place.
But he is instructing his top brass at the Department of War to, quote, be prepared to go forward with a full, large-scale assault of Iran on a moment's notice in the event that an acceptable deal is not reached. This decision comes after a weekend of huddling with his national security team on next steps and rejecting Iran's latest proposal, telling the New York Post today that he is not open to any concessions for Tehran.
Joining us now, former CIA station chief Dan Hoffman. Dan, always a pleasure to see you. Is another assault by the United States avoidable at this point?
Well, I think we've seen no evidence whatsoever that Iran is willing to come to the negotiating table and do so in good faith about their nuclear program, the highly enriched uranium, roughly 1,000 pounds, that we'd like to get access to and remove from the country, what's left of their ballistic missile and drone programs, and of course their long, decades-long support, material support for proxy terrorists. Those are the things that the JCPOA never really addressed. There were sunset clauses for the nuclear program and nothing whatsoever about the ballistic missile program or Iran's terrorism. So the Trump administration will be judged ultimately on whether we get a better deal than the JCPOA. And I think the president understands that he needs to induce Iran to come to the negotiating table. He's giving Iran one more day, but I don't see any evidence that we're going to be able to avoid additional military strikes. Now, what those strikes entail, are they just further decapitation strikes? So we remove the leaders who don't want to come to the negotiating table in the hope that maybe the next batch would? Or whether there are more extensive strikes on Iran's security facilities or their weapons facilities. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure the president's being briefed by his national security team and asking the CIA about our intelligence and what might induce Iran to change their behavior.
Dan, I'm going to get back on my Project Freedom hobby horse. I've been riding this for a few
Yeah, you
weeks.
have.
And I just think if you want to really change the game there, get the Strait moving for everybody but Iran. It takes away all their leverage, but we seem to have thrown that out the window for these negotiations, and I'm not hearing a lot of talk about it coming back. Do you think there's any chance that's going to be a centerpiece or a big part of what the president has planned next?
I think it has to be, and you're absolutely right. We need to own escalation dominance in the region, and right now we don't. Iran has interrupted the flow of goods, especially oil, but not just oil, fertilizer and other things that are important for our economy through the Strait of Hormuz. And they've disrupted the global economy. And so we need to reopen the strait. And how we go about doing that, unlikely, I think, that we'll do it through negotiation, because we need to keep the blockade on, as you said, to pressure Iran. But we need the strait to be open, and it may take quite a bit of input and U.S. military assets on the ground to make that happen if it comes to that.
Your expertise of many, but I'd say the primary one might be Russia. And Dan, the U.S. issued its third temporary waiver on Russian oil sanctions just a few hours ago. And this is just to keep the oil flowing. We understand that. But how does that potentially help Russia and even hurt Ukraine?
Well, it helps Russia, and it hurts us not just in Ukraine, but it hurts us in the Middle East. Look, it's very clear how this century's axis of dictatorships, that's Russia, Iran, North Korea, and China, are aligned against us, the United States and our Western allies, not only in Ukraine, but in the Middle East as well. Russia and China want to reduce or eliminate altogether U.S. influence in the Middle East, and their principal ally there is Iran. And so by giving Russia this waiver, we're allowing them to increase their total revenue that they can use not just on their war in Ukraine, but as needed to project power in other parts of the world.
Dan Hoffman.
And it's a point of leverage that, frankly, we're giving up.
Dan Hoffman.
And it's a point of leverage that, frankly, we're giving up.
We appreciate your expertise. Always good to have you on these issues. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
All right. Thank you.